Okay, we're going to try JSTOR just for that somewhat rare off chance that you need statistical analysis or data to understand the impact of your court case has on society, or for any reason why you might need that. Now, most people use this for uh, all kinds of research. So there should be some statistical data, especially if it's in the area of sciences, medical, health, maybe social science, where they're studying groups of people or cultures. You just never know. Excuse me. And I don't know if you guys have any court cases that involve knowing statistics of people involved with the case or people that will be affected by the case. That's all up to you to decide. I'm just putting it in here just in case. Therefore, it's more in-depth information that you need. It goes a bit further than just finding out the basics. So that's when we want to use a college level and above database to find those types of journals and articles. Okay, so I'll just show you what we're going to do with that and we'll see how it works. I'm going to use a search on COVID-19 just because I'm not a statistical person. I don't have a science background, but this leads me to, we know that there's going to be something in the health field based where we use statistics to figure things out. So let's see what those professionals might be looking for. Okay, and you can certainly search these things as well. So I'm just going to show you how to work with the database on this. Okay, so we're going to go to advanced search. Okay, so you look all over here. We are logged in as Loyola High School. You want to make sure that we've logged in. Okay, so I'm going to try using COVID-19 because we are certainly away from that era by at least a few years. Now, it may require a dash. I'm not sure, but we do want to use COVID-19. Other things you could try, you could put quotes around these two words together, maybe take the dash out. I think that's what I want to do. It just looks cleaner so that we're talking about that. You could actually put in the pandemic if you wanted to. Again, you're not likely looking up COVID as far as your Supreme Court case, so I don't want to get you too far off the mark here. Okay, again, you're going to be using your own terms based on your own research. You guys have different topics. You'll know what you need in this case. So you've got to make some decisions on where your research topic is taking you. Look at your thesis if you have it ready by now, and make sure that you're following that pathway. Okay, so we're going to go with just COVID-19 for right now. We're going to let all of these limiters and filters, if you want to call them filters or limiters, that's what all of these boxes are doing. Okay, we want content we can access, and that means we want actual articles, not just an abstract or a citation to somewhere else where they might have the article. You want to be able to get it here. Okay, so what we're going to do is normally we're picking articles. However, in this case, we want research reports. Anything where they've actually done their own research, these people who have written these journal articles. So, and there are people who go to get a doctorate in could be not only in medicine, but you can get a doctoral degree in education, and you would most likely be doing some kind of research of your own. You might have people filling out surveys. So that's one type of statistic. You have somebody fill out you have a group of people filling out surveys about what they think about a topic, and you want to find out how many people believe this, how many people believe that, or if they disagree with something. Okay, so we've chosen research reports. We want only in English. Okay, at this point, I don't want to put a journal. Normally, I do use this. This is for the subject. Okay, um, there's all kinds of subjects that this database covers. Again, we're talking about a court case, so I do not know which court case everyone is working on, so I'm not going to be using that. That's why I'm using COVID-19. Okay, I'm just trying to show you how the database works. So at this point, I'm not going to put any limit on what kind of journal. So we'll scroll back up. There is also another button that says submit at the very bottom of this page, but we're just going to use this one. Okay, well, it got a lot. Yeah, we're probably going to, you would probably want to narrow this down some more, and there are different ways to do it. You can do it by these things. You open these up, access type, okay, research reports. We've already got that set up. A date range, you might want to go in a certain date range. By the way, JSTOR, while it has a lot of articles and it covers a long span of years and decades, you cannot get anything inside of the most recent 2 years. Okay, so anything that occurred in the last 2 years is not going to be available on this database. It's because the publishers who create these journals, who own the journals and people submit their writings to, they are still selling their journal articles with subscriptions. So anything that you want very, very current that is within the last 2 years, you're not going to be able to find those articles here. So you could limit it to this. I'm not going to do this at this point, but you can put things in. Now, okay, so obviously it's CE and BCE. Please don't ask me what they mean. I can only tell you that this is before Christ. It used to be BC, but we want this. We want currency. Okay, so that's where you would put a date range. Beginning and what date, what years, maybe the 1970s. It could be as broad as that. 1970, let's say, to the year 2000 or up till now. It really doesn't matter. You have to come up with that because you're the one who is looking for your information. And in my case, COVID-19 is my example search. It only happened 5 years ago. Okay, so all of this is going to be new except for the most recent 2 years. So you notice all of these are 2020. The world after COVID, there might be something there. Again, these are abstracts that tell you a little bit about what's in the article, just like the other databases I've shown you. There's always something that gives a summary of what the article might be about. Of course, looking at the titles, they're right here. They're hyperlinked. These are the authors. Implications of COVID-19 for the environment and sustainability. The impacts on women. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, so over here it tells you what the title of the article is. It's a research report. So it's not exactly an article in a journal. It's an actual research report. Okay, so it has a different format somewhat. Okay, but you can bet there's probably going to be some statistics in here. Okay. So you want to read any of this first page of the report. I don't know how many pages it is right now. Okay. And it does look quite different from a journal article, but that's okay. Okay, so here they are. Mentioned here's some data: 600,000 deaths reported worldwide as of July 2020. So that's telling you that they do have some statistics in here. They can't just throw out numbers in this case. They need to provide, they need to tell you how they did their study, what it involved, what kinds of people it involved, where it was located. This is the nature of statistical. Oh, yes, you might have noticed I have trouble with S's. I often make a whistling sound. Sorry about that, guys. If you want to, you can just watch and turn down the volume. You don't have to listen to my voice if you don't want to. No judgment here, okay? I don't like listening to my voice. All right, so I'm looking here. Health impacts on women. So I love the word impact because you guys are going to be looking for possibly impact on society or on certain groups of people. You're looking at education cases, so you might wonder how many children did this, or students did this court case have an effect on? Again, you're going to have to come up with that. That's the tough part of research. You have to think up your own research questions. You have to follow your pathway after you've looked for some information. Then you might have to go find more information. Okay, so this is part of it. It's all part of learning how to do research. Socioeconomic impacts on women. Well, if I were doing a report on COVID and its impact, especially on women, this would be a perfect article. It's not really an article, but they have references in the bottom, and this is great. They may have recommendations. I see the word recommendations. Okay, because there's going to be a reason why they're doing research, because they want to see what can we do with what we've learned. Okay, that's why research information is done. That's why they do it, so that they can actually bring something good out of what happened, whether it's a court case and a social issue, or whether it's a pandemic like this case, and finding out what what happened to everybody, what happened to certain groups of people. I want to know. This is the reason why we do this kind of research. Okay, and it's fairly long. It's 11 pages. They have a conclusion. So they'll tell you about the people who did this. That might, if you are looking up stats, research, um, research events that they did, you'll want to have the names of the people involved, because you kind of got to have this. This is professional information, and it matters more than what they found out. It matters how they went about it. Okay, so for now this doesn't mean that there aren't statistical data or analysis in any of the other databases that I've shown you. But when you're actually looking for something, I've had students ask me, which is the best database to find stats? Well, there isn't one database, okay? Because we can't possibly have that many. If we were a college, especially if we had a medical uh, school on campus, and we were some, long-term university, was like USC, you would find that at USC they have a separate library for at least the sciences, and most likely a separate library just for the medical profession, the medical education. So you would have different types of databases, but at this point you guys are in high school, and this is the most general. I have general databases for you. So this is where I would look, is looking for professional, because this is the level. These are people who are scientists in some way, even if it's a social science. Okay. These are people who are finding out how things affect us as communities, as a country, after major events. Well, a court case is a major event as well. Okay, so this would be the place to go. And of course, other articles written in other databases like the ones that we tried, those are also professionals, but it's not based on trying to find out what specifically happened. Okay, what kind of data do we have? And some of that data might be written into some basic articles, but when I need to actually go looking for it for some reason, then that's why I would come here. For instance, there's one over here, double, and these are relevant research reports on the left-hand side. So they're giving us other options. Well, if you had a different type of, if you weren't doing a medical type of search like I am here, they would still have relevance, items that are relevant. So that's nice about the database. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to scroll this back up. Do this. Okay. So again, we have tools that are available to you. You can download it. Let's see where it goes. It's going to my computer. Okay. Now, I don't want to go through that right now. Excuse me. All right, so we can look at our citations. This is MLA. It's right here. All you have to do is hit the copy button. Drop that in a Google Docs. You could make a file, and you could also, export these. I wouldn't do any of these. We don't have any of these at school. I just say, just take this. It's here in the database. You don't even have to highlight it. You just hit copy. And then you can open up a Word doc, or actually a Google Doc, okay, and drop that in there. Okay. And you can share it. You can go by email. I would say that rather than downloading it to your computer, I would say email this whole document to yourself. And this is what it'll look like. Okay. You'll want to do it that way, but basically you want to link. Okay. So you can figure that out for yourself for your email. Okay. I believe this is all we have. Yes, and you can search in the document as well if you wanted to. I'm not going to at this point, but okay. All right, so that is JSTOR. Good luck.